The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with tension. Alarms flashed across the holographic displays as delegates from dozens of star systems watched the live reports from human colonies. Reports were fragmented and grim. Entire settlements were under attack by the Zelari, a terrifying alien species known for their speed, cunning, and deadly weapons. Most of the Council had assumed that humanity would not last long. Humans were new to galactic affairs, relatively primitive in military technology, and untested in war. Captain Daniel Hayes stared at the communication console aboard the transport ship, his jaw tight. Beside him, Lieutenant Claire Benson traced the holographic map with her finger, noting the locations where the Zelari had struck. The alien ships moved like shadows, striking swiftly and vanishing before reinforcements could arrive. "We need to get more information," Claire said, her voice steady but urgent. "The Council expects us to coordinate, but we barely know what we're facing." Daniel nodded, thinking quickly. Humans had faced tough situations before, but nothing like this. The Zelari were unlike anything humanity had encountered. Their armor was nearly impervious, their weapons precise and lethal, and their strategies were cunningly unpredictable. Yet, humans had one thing the aliens did not: creativity and the ability to adapt. In the laboratory section of the transport, scientist Liam Carter was examining a sample of alien material retrieved from a downed Zelari drone. The material was strange, almost living, and Liam's curiosity was piqued. He ran tests, noting how the substance reacted to different environmental conditions. Something about it hinted at a weakness, something the humans could use if they could figure it out quickly. Meanwhile, on one of the outer colonies, the scene was chaos. Families ran through the streets, carrying what they could salvage. Explosions rocked buildings, and fire consumed structures with terrifying speed. Daniel and Claire led a small group of human defenders, using improvised barricades and hidden traps. The humans were outnumbered and outgunned, but they refused to surrender. "Hold your positions," Daniel shouted as a Zelari patrol approached. He tossed a device that emitted a pulse of light and sound, confusing the aliens for a moment. Claire followed up with a series of well-aimed shots, taking advantage of the brief disorientation. The aliens recoiled, clearly not expecting such resistance from humans. In the Galactic Council chamber, delegates murmured among themselves. "This is unexpected," said a representative from the Erythian system, an alien race known for their calm and calculating approach. Humans should have fallen by now. Yet they continue to resist. Another delegate, a tall insectoid figure named Zorvith, leaned forward. "Perhaps we underestimated them. Their technology is crude, yes, but their actions display remarkable foresight and adaptability. We must reconsider our assumptions." Back on the colony, Daniel, Claire, and their team continued to fight a series of skirmishes. Each encounter gave them more insight into the Zelari tactics. The humans observed patterns, learned the timing of attacks, and began to improvise. Liam's research suggested that the aliens relied on a form of bioenergy for their shields and weapons. If the humans could disrupt that energy, they might stand a chance in larger battles. As night fell, Daniel gathered the defenders in a temporary command center. Maps were spread across tables, and holographic markers displayed alien positions. Claire pointed to a cluster of Zelari ships hovering near the colony's main energy grid. "If we can sabotage the energy grid, we might force them to withdraw, or at least slow them down," she said. Daniel nodded, considering the risks. "It's dangerous, but it might be our best shot. We'll need volunteers for a strike team." Several hands went up immediately. Humans were not just fighting for survival. They were fighting for their homes and their families. The determination in their eyes impressed even Daniel, who had seen his share of fear and courage. As the first wave of humans prepared for the mission, Liam approached with a new idea: "I've been analyzing the alien materials we recovered," he said. "I think we can create a small device that interferes with their bioenergy field. It won't destroy them, but it should give us an edge in combat." Daniel and Claire exchanged glances. "Then we make it happen," Daniel said firmly. "Every advantage counts." The humans moved cautiously through the darkened streets, avoiding patrols and setting small traps along the way. Their ingenuity turned the urban landscape into a maze of defensive positions. When the Zelari approached, the humans were ready. A series of well-coordinated attacks, combined with Liam's device, caused confusion and disarray among the aliens. One by one, the Zelari retreated, unable to predict the humans' clever strategies. Back at the Galactic Council, the delegates watched the reports in stunned silence. They had expected a swift human defeat, yet every update showed the humans surviving, adapting, and striking back. Murmurs of disbelief and curiosity spread through the chamber. Zorvith shook his head. "This is extraordinary. I've studied countless species, and humans are unique in their unpredictability. Even facing a superior force, they are resourceful, clever, and remarkably resilient." For Daniel, Claire, and Liam, the first victory was just the beginning. They knew the Zelari would return stronger and more determined. But for the first time, humans had shown the galaxy that they were not to be underestimated. Creativity, courage, and teamwork had allowed a small group of humans to survive against an alien force that many thought would annihilate them. As dawn broke over the battered colony, the humans regrouped, repaired their equipment, and prepared for the next challenge. They had learned that survival required more than weapons. It required thinking, adapting, and never giving up. And in the shadows of the galaxy, where the Zelari waited to strike again, humans had proven that their greatest weapon was not technology, but the spirit of ingenuity and determination that burned within them. The humans had survived their first encounter with the Zelari, but there was no time to celebrate. The alien threat was relentless, and Daniel Hayes knew they needed to strike back if they were to protect their colonies. The survivors gathered in the command center of the largest remaining settlement, where Claire Benson and Liam Carter laid out their plans. "We've learned a lot from the last attacks," Claire said, pointing at a holographic map dotted with alien positions. "Their patrols follow predictable paths, and their supply lines are exposed if we move quickly. We can use that to our advantage." Liam stepped forward, holding a small device. "This is an upgraded version of the interference device I made last time. It should disrupt the Zelari shields temporarily, giving us a chance to hit their ships and supplies. We'll need small teams to deploy it close to their bases." The human volunteers nodded, determination shining in their eyes. Each of them had family and friends to protect, and they were ready to risk everything. Daniel felt a surge of pride and responsibility. Leading them was more than strategy. It was keeping hope alive. That the first mission targeted a supply depot hidden in an abandoned mining facility. Daniel led the team, while Claire coordinated the operation from the command center. Using stealth and clever traps, the humans moved silently through dark tunnels. When they reached the depot, Liam activated his device. The Zelari shields flickered, and the humans struck quickly, destroying supplies and capturing vital data on alien movements. Back at the settlement, news of the success boosted morale. Civilians and soldiers alike cheered, realizing the humans could fight back against what seemed like an unstoppable force. Even small victories mattered when survival was on the line. Daniel and Claire were not content to stop there. They began planning larger operations, targeting Zelari patrols and communication hubs. They used guerrilla tactics, setting ambushes and improvising weapons from whatever materials they could find. Each battle taught them more about the alien strengths and weaknesses. One night, while reviewing intelligence reports, Liam made an important discovery. The Zelari rely on bioenergy for their weapons and shields, he explained. If we can find a way to disrupt it on a larger scale, we might force them to retreat from entire sectors. Daniel and Claire exchanged glances. It was a risky idea, but it might be the humans' best chance. They immediately started testing new devices and traps, preparing for the moment they could strike decisively. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council watched with increasing amazement. Delegates had expected humans to fail quickly, yet every report showed a species using ingenuity and teamwork to survive. The council chambers buzzed with debate. "They are clever, resourceful, and unpredictable," said Leora, a representative of the Zentari. "Even with primitive weapons, they find ways to fight back. We underestimated them." Zorvith, the insectoid delegate, leaned forward. "I have never seen anything like it. They are a threat not just to the Zelari, but potentially to the balance of power in the galaxy. Their adaptability is remarkable." Back on the front lines, humans continued to grow bolder. Claire led a mission to disrupt the Zelari communications hub, using a combination of stealth and quick strikes. The mission succeeded, delaying enemy reinforcements and giving human colonies breathing room to fortify defenses. Daniel noticed a pattern emerging. The Zelari were aggressive, but rigid in their tactics. They responded predictably to direct attacks, which meant humans could manipulate their movements. Each skirmish became a learning experience, and human ingenuity started turning the tide. The team also rescued prisoners from a captured colony. Families reunited, sharing stories of the aliens' brutality and the courage of human defenders. These personal victories fueled determination across the settlements. In one daring raid, Daniel led a strike on a Zelari supply ship hidden in an asteroid belt. Using modified mining drones and makeshift weapons, the humans disabled the ship and captured critical alien equipment. Liam quickly analyzed it, discovering ways to improve the interference devices for even greater effect. Every success was a lesson, and every lesson made humans stronger. The aliens had underestimated creativity, and humans had learned to use it as their greatest weapon. Civilians began assisting in minor operations, crafting weapons, and supplying intel, creating a network of resilience across colonies. The humans' victories became more than just survival, they became symbols. Other galactic species began noticing. Stories of human ingenuity and courage spread, reaching ears both friendly and hostile. The Zelari themselves grew wary, realizing that humans were not the simple targets they had assumed. Daniel, Claire, and Liam convened one evening, reviewing maps and data. "We're turning the tide," Daniel said quietly. "The Zelari are still dangerous, but we're learning to fight them on our terms." Claire nodded. "And we're showing the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated. Every move we make teaches us something new." Liam smiled, holding a small holographic model of the interference device. "Science and strategy together. That's what makes us strong. Not just weapons, not just numbers, but thinking, adapting, and never giving up." As night fell across the colony, humans prepared for the next phase. Patrols were organized, supplies distributed, and devices tested. The sense of unity and determination was palpable. They had proven that even against an overwhelming enemy, humans could survive, fight back, and even turn the odds in their favor. Far away, the Galactic Council continued to watch in awe. The reports of human tactics, bravery, and ingenuity had shocked even the most experienced delegates. Conversations that had once dismissed humanity as a minor species now focused on their potential, their unpredictability, and the possibility that humans could change the balance of power in the galaxy. For Daniel, Claire, and Liam, the coming days promised more challenges, more danger, and more opportunities to prove that humans were not just survivors. They were fighters, thinkers, and innovators. And as they planned their next mission, one thing was clear. Humans had begun to fight back in a way that no one, Not even the Zellari or the Galactic Council could have predicted. The humans had survived their first counterattacks. But Daniel Hayes knew the Zellari would not wait quietly. Reports indicated that alien forces were regrouping for a larger offensive. It was clear that humans could no longer rely solely on small raids. They needed a bigger plan to turn the tide of the war. Daniel gathered his core team in the command center. Claire Benson, Liam Carter, and several other key human officers listened intently. Holographic maps projected across the room, showing Zellari positions and movements. The Zellari are consolidating in this sector, Daniel said, pointing to the largest cluster of ships. If they launch a full assault, our colonies could be destroyed. We need to hit them before they get stronger. Claire studied the map. Their ships are heavily armored, but they depend on a central bioenergy source. If we can disrupt it, we might cripple their fleet without facing them head-on. Liam stepped forward, holding an upgraded interference device. This is our chance. I've modified it to affect multiple ships at once. It's risky, but if we deploy it near their mothership, it could turn the tide. The team prepared for the mission with careful planning. Volunteers trained rigorously, running through mock operations and practicing their roles. Humans were not as advanced technologically as the Zellari, but their ingenuity and adaptability made up for the difference. The first step was to gather intelligence. Daniel and Claire led a stealth mission to intercept a Zellari scout ship. Moving through asteroid fields and debris, they avoided detection and managed to capture the craft. Inside, they found data about the alien fleet, including the location of the mothership and supply lines. It was a small but critical victory. Back at the colony, Liam analyzed the data and prepared the interference devices. Every detail mattered. The humans improvised, using materials at hand to enhance the device's range and power. It was a delicate balance. Too little energy would be useless. Too much could harm the operators. The humans decided on a coordinated attack. Teams would strike simultaneously at Zellari supply lines and the mothership, creating confusion and maximizing the effect of the devices. Each team had a clear objective, and Daniel reminded them that timing and precision were vital. On the day of the operation, humans moved through the shadows of space, cloaked and cautious. The first teams reached supply lines, sabotaging them and drawing alien forces away from the mothership. Explosions and fires erupted along the supply routes, creating chaos. Meanwhile, Daniel and Claire led the main strike team toward the mothership. Liam's interference device hummed with energy, ready to disrupt the alien shields. As they approached, the Zellari became aware of the attack and sent patrols to intercept them. Using quick thinking and improvised tactics, the humans avoided the patrols. Daniel navigated through narrow channels, while Claire coordinated with other teams via encrypted communication. Timing was everything. One mistake could be fatal. Finally, they reached the outer perimeter of the mothership. Liam activated the device, sending pulses of energy toward the alien vessel. The shields flickered and weakened, causing panic among the Zellari crews. Seizing the moment, the humans launched a surprise attack, targeting critical systems and weapons. Explosions rocked the mothership, and alien forces struggled to regain control. The coordinated strikes on supply lines amplified the effect, leaving the Zellari disorganized and vulnerable. For the first time, humans were not just defending, they were on the offensive. The battle lasted hours. Humans used every advantage: stealth, traps, knowledge of alien weaknesses, and coordinated attacks. Their ingenuity and courage allowed them to overcome superior technology. Civilians who had joined in support roles contributed by providing real-time intelligence and emergency repairs. As the dust settled, the mothership was severely damaged, and the remaining Zellari forces retreated. Humans had struck a decisive blow, proving that strategy and creativity could overcome brute strength. Daniel, Claire, and Liam gathered their teams, sharing quiet celebrations of their success. It was a hard-won victory, but one that signaled a shift in the war. Back at the Galactic Council, delegates reacted with shock. The reports of human ingenuity and effectiveness against the Zelari spread quickly. Even the most skeptical members of the council could not ignore the humans' accomplishments. Leora, representative of the Zenthari, spoke with amazement. They have done the impossible. Humans, with limited technology, have inflicted severe damage on the Zelari. Their ingenuity and courage are unlike anything I have seen. Zorvith nodded. It is clear that humans cannot be dismissed. They have learned, adapted, and executed strategies that would challenge even the most advanced species. Back on the colonies, humans continued to rebuild and prepare for future encounters. Every mission, every skirmish, and every device provided valuable knowledge. Daniel and Claire knew the Solari would return, but humans had proven they could face the aliens with creativity and determination. Civilians, who had experienced the battles firsthand, shared their stories. Tales of daring raids, clever traps, and small victories spread, inspiring others to contribute to the defense. Communities became united, turning fear into resolve. Liam continued his research, developing improved devices and tactics based on real-time observations. Each advancement strengthened the humans' ability to challenge the Zelari. Technology alone was not enough. The human spirit, adaptability, and teamwork were the real weapons. As night fell over the settlements, Daniel stood on a balcony overlooking the repaired city. The lights flickered, a reminder of both the destruction and the resilience of humanity. Claire joined him, and together they reflected on what had been achieved. "We've done something no one expected," Claire said quietly. "We've shown that humans are more than what the galaxy assumed." Daniel nodded. "And we're just getting started. The Zelari will be back, but we've learned how to fight them. We know their weaknesses, and we know ourselves. Creativity and courage will always give us an edge." The humans had turned the tide of the war, not with superior numbers or advanced technology, but with ingenuity, teamwork, and an unwavering will to survive. The Zelari, once confident in their dominance, had begun to realize that humans were not a species to be underestimated. And as humans prepared for the battles to come, one thing was certain: they would continue to fight, adapt, and show the galaxy the power of human resilience and determination. The humans' success against the Zelari had begun to turn heads across the galaxy. News of their clever tactics, daring raids, and resilience reached distant star systems. Even the Galactic Council, which had once doubted humanity's abilities, was now forced to take notice. Back on the front lines, Daniel Hayes and Claire Benson continued to lead their teams with focus and determination. The Zelari, humiliated by their recent losses, were regrouping for another offensive. Daniel knew that the next battles would be even tougher, but humans had gained confidence. They had seen what they could achieve when they worked together. "We need to be ready for anything," Daniel said during a strategy meeting. Holographic maps displayed the positions of remaining Zelari forces. "They'll strike harder this time, but we've learned from every encounter. We'll be ready." Claire nodded. "Our people are motivated. Civilians are helping us, supplying intel, building defensive structures, and even assisting in repairs. The Zelari underestimate human determination at their own risk." Meanwhile, Liam Carter was finalizing upgrades to the interference devices. He had analyzed every piece of alien technology captured so far and found ways to improve the device's effectiveness. Each improvement meant humans could disable larger numbers of Zelari ships and create new opportunities on the battlefield. As the humans prepared for the coming assault, the Galactic Council held an emergency session. Representatives from dozens of species debated humanity's role in the galaxy. Some argued that humans were reckless and unpredictable, While others marveled at their ingenuity and bravery, Leora, the Centauri representative, spoke with admiration. Humans have done what no other species could. With minimal technology, they have disrupted a powerful alien force. Their courage, creativity, and willingness to take risks are remarkable. Zorvith, the insectoid delegate, added, "It is clear that humans cannot be ignored. Their adaptability is a strength that even the Zellari have begun to respect. We must reconsider how we engage with them in the future." Back on the colonies, humans prepared for the next phase of the war. Defensive positions were strengthened, traps were set, and supply lines were secured. Civilians and soldiers alike worked together, creating a sense of unity and purpose. The first engagement came in the form of a Zellari ambush near a mining colony. Daniel and Claire led a small strike team to intercept the aliens. Using Liam's upgraded devices, they disrupted the Zellari shields, allowing the humans to take control of the battlefield. The aliens were taken by surprise. Humans had anticipated their moves, set traps, and coordinated attacks with precision. Even when outnumbered, human ingenuity and teamwork turned the battle in their favor. The Zellari retreated in confusion, unable to understand how a species they considered primitive could fight so effectively. Each victory added to human confidence. Survivors shared stories of courage and clever tactics, inspiring others to join the resistance. Communities that had once feared the aliens began to contribute actively to the defense. The human spirit, determination, and creativity became the true weapons in the war. Daniel and Claire organized a larger mission to target the Zellari command hub in the sector. This hub coordinated multiple patrols and controlled supply routes. Disabling it would cripple the alien operations and give humans a major advantage. The mission required careful planning. Teams moved through asteroid belts and abandoned stations to reach the hub undetected. Liam's devices were deployed strategically, creating disruptions that allowed humans to penetrate defenses and sabotage critical systems. The Zellari fought back fiercely, but human adaptability and creativity proved superior. Traps, unexpected attacks, and quick thinking turned the tide in humans' favor. The command hub was disabled, sending waves of confusion through Zellari ranks. Back at the colonies, civilians cheered as news of the victory spread. Humans had done what many species thought impossible. The stories of bravery and innovation traveled quickly, inspiring hope and unity across human settlements. The Galactic Council received reports with shock. Delegates who had doubted humans' abilities now realized the significance of their achievements. Conversations shifted from underestimation to recognition and intrigue. Leora spoke again in council, her voice filled with respect. Humans have proven their worth not through numbers or advanced technology, but through ingenuity and courage. They are a species unlike any we have encountered. Zorvith added, "We must study them carefully. Their unpredictability and resilience make them a force that could change the balance of power in the galaxy." Back on the front lines, Daniel and Claire knew that the Zellari would eventually regroup. But for now, humans had achieved something extraordinary. They had demonstrated that determination, creativity, and unity could overcome even the most powerful enemy. Liam continued his work, preparing for the future, knowing that humans would face many more challenges. As night fell across the colonies, Daniel looked at the city below. Fires from past battles had been extinguished, buildings repaired, and streets cleared. Yet the memory of danger remained, a reminder that vigilance was necessary. Claire joined him, and together they reflected on the journey so far. "We've come a long way," Claire said softly. "We've shown the galaxy that humans are not to be underestimated." Daniel nodded. "And we're not done yet. Every battle teaches us something new. Every victory proves that we can face challenges that others think impossible. Creativity and courage are our greatest weapons." Humans had gained more than tactical victories. They had earned respect, recognition, and a reputation that spread across the galaxy. They had shown that even in a universe filled with advanced civilizations, determination, ingenuity, and teamwork could allow them to triumph against overwhelming odds. The story of human valor and innovation continued to grow, inspiring others and changing the way the galaxy viewed this resilient species. Daniel, Claire, and Liam prepared for the future, knowing that humans would face greater challenges. But with courage, intelligence, and unity, they were ready to meet whatever came next. The Zellari had retreated, but Daniel Hayes knew they would return. The aliens were wounded, but not defeated, and the humans had to be ready for the final confrontation. The colonies were prepared, defenses reinforced, and every able person was contributing to the war effort. The victories so far had taught humans to trust in their ingenuity and resilience. Claire, Benson organized patrols and coordinated intelligence across the colonies. Every piece of information about Zellari movements was analyzed, and patterns were tracked to predict their next moves. Liam Carter continued refining the interference devices, making them more powerful and easier to deploy. Every tool, every tactic, and every human resource was put to use. Daniel called a council of human leaders and volunteers. Holographic maps displayed potential Zellari strike points and suggested strategies. "We've fought them before, and we've learned," he said. "This is our chance to end the threat and protect our people. We need to hit them hard and smart." The humans split into multiple teams, each with a specific mission. Some targeted supply lines, others engaged patrols, and a central strike team, led by Daniel and Claire, aimed for the main Zellari command ship. Liam's devices were deployed strategically, ready to weaken the shields and systems of the alien fleet. The first wave attacked silently, disabling communication networks and supply lines. Explosions rocked Zellari positions, causing confusion. The aliens tried to respond, but human strategy and unpredictability kept them off balance. Civilians assisted by relaying information and repairing damaged defenses, showing the strength of unity in the human colonies. Daniel and Claire led the central strike team through asteroid fields and debris, avoiding Zellari patrols. Every move was calculated, every action precise. When they reached the command ship, Liam activated the interference device. Energy pulses disrupted the alien shields, causing chaos aboard the vessel. Humans attacked with speed and precision. They targeted weapons, engines, and critical systems, using every tool and tactic they had developed. The Zellari struggled to defend themselves, unable to predict the humans' unconventional methods. For the first time, the aliens faced a species that could outthink them, not just outgun them. Explosions and alarms filled the command ship as humans gained control. Daniel coordinated attacks from inside, while Claire directed teams outside. Liam monitored systems, ensuring the devices continued to work. The humans were relentless, combining courage, intelligence, and adaptability to overpower the aliens. Meanwhile, across the colonies, human teams continued their operations. Supply depots were secured, patrols neutralized, and civilians evacuated from danger zones. Each success weakened the Zellari's ability to fight and strengthened human morale. It became clear that humans were no longer just defending, they were leading the war effort. The Galactic Council watched in amazement as reports of the final battle reached them. Delegates had assumed humans would eventually be overwhelmed, but the humans were proving otherwise. They were not only surviving, but dominating a species that many considered superior. Leora, speaking in the council chamber, said, "Humans have turned what seemed impossible into reality. They fight not only with weapons, but with strategy, courage, and creativity. They are truly remarkable." Zorvith added, "Their adaptability and teamwork make them a species to respect. The Zellari have underestimated humans, and it has cost them greatly." Back on the battlefield, The command ship was disabled, and Zalari forces began a disorganized retreat. Humans pursued cautiously, ensuring the aliens could not regroup. Victories were celebrated, but the focus remained on security and preparation. The humans had learned that even after success, vigilance was essential. As the battle ended, Daniel, Claire, and Liam gathered their teams. Exhaustion was evident on their faces, but so was pride. They had achieved what no one had expected, demonstrating that courage, intelligence, and adaptability could overcome a seemingly invincible enemy. Civilians emerged from shelters, cheering and helping with repairs. Stories of human ingenuity spread quickly, inspiring hope and unity. The humans had proven that even in the face of advanced alien technology, creativity and determination were powerful weapons. The Galactic Council convened to acknowledge humanity's achievements formally. Representatives praised the bravery and ingenuity of humans, recognizing their strategic and tactical abilities. Humans were no longer considered a minor species. They were respected, admired, and feared for their cleverness and resilience. Daniel addressed his team one last time. "We've done something incredible, not because we had the most advanced weapons, but because we used our minds, our courage, and our unity. The Zalari will not forget us, and neither will the galaxy." Claire smiled, looking at the volunteers and civilians who had joined the effort. Every person here played a part. This victory belongs to all of us. We've shown that humans are not to be underestimated. Liam added, "Our devices and strategies worked, but it was your courage and creativity that made them effective. Humans can do anything when we think, adapt, and work together." The humans celebrated their victory, but remained mindful of the future. The galaxy was vast and full of unknown threats. Yet, humanity had proven that no matter the odds, they could survive, fight back, and triumph. Their ingenuity, courage, and determination had rewritten the expectations of the galaxy. As night fell, Daniel, Claire, and Liam stood together, looking at the stars. The war with the Zalari had been the first test, and humanity had passed. They knew challenges would come again, but they were ready. Humans had become a force respected across the galaxy, not because of power alone, but because of their spirit, resilience, and brilliance. The story of humans defeating the Zalari spread across the cosmos, inspiring others and reshaping how the galaxy viewed humanity. They had proven that even against a superior alien force, intelligence, creativity, and courage could prevail. And as humans looked to the stars, they knew that the universe had yet to see the full extent of their potential.